the Prophet ﷺ say and do with regards to fasting in Shaban? What did the Prophet ﷺ say and do with regards to fasting in the month of Shawwal? And that's for no purpose except for what I've just explained to you. As Ramadan is not to be isolated. That's not the only time in which you know hunger and thirst. Ramadan is not supposed to be the only month in which you know the Masjid. Ramadan is not supposed to be the only time in which the Quran is recited and read in your home. But it's supposed to be read and recited all of the time. But in Ramadan, even more. In Ramadan, more fasting. In Ramadan, more prayers. In Ramadan, more mercy. In Ramadan, more consciousness. I'm aware even more. But it doesn't mean as soon as the Eid comes, I go back to being unconscious and just being picked off by the shaitan. And it can't work like that. And the moment speakers, not the layman people, not the subjects, but the speakers, the spiritual and religious leaders, when they do not critically bring this to the attention of the people, I believe that they have cheated them. They've cheated them. They haven't given them nasiha. And what you say is just okay to just come to the masjid just for Ramadan. And we're just going to do a lecture just on Ramadan, and that's it. And no advice is given before or after. And the people are not reminded of what their duties are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And most importantly, the benefit. What do you get out of Ramadan when you make a proper preparation? What do you get from the month of Ramadan when you do things after that month? The 5 salawat. As Allah Azza wa Jal also mentions in that surah, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَىٰ صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Those who strictly guard their salawat, all of their prayers. What do we do before the prayer? You just make the takbir? No. There is the adhan. And then there is the miswak. And then there's the wudu. And then there are the sunnah prayers. And there's sitting on the front row. And there's making dua between the adhan and the iqamah. There is waiting for the imam to come out. There is the takbir. You make the salah. What did the Prophet ﷺ do and say and teach us for after the prayer? Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha. You make istighfar, Allahumma anta salam. You sit and you wait in the place in which you offer the prayer. And then comes in the next prayer. And that is how one prayer leads to another. And the next thing you know, between Dhuhr and Asr, I didn't make that sin. Between Dhuhr and Asr, I didn't go back to that bad habit. Between Dhuhr and Asr, I actually thought about Salat al-Asr after Salat al-Dhuhr. And I looked forward to it. And then Asr turns into Maghrib. And Maghrib turns into Isha. And Isha turns into Qiyam and Witr and Tahajjud, Fajr, etc. And then you get momentum. Then there's momentum. Now it's velocity. It's spinning now. And it's easier for you to be pious. But if you say it's Dhuhr time, I'll get up only when I have to make Dhuhr. Make wudu, pray, go back to sleep, go back to whatever I'm doing until Asr comes back in. Then you've isolated the 5 prayers from each other. You've separated them and you fall victim to just being an average person who makes the salah. So this is a very, very critical and extremely important concept of the month of Ramadan. And that is to look at that which comes before the month. Look at that which comes after the month. And most importantly, focus on the actual month. And if you do that, bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you try this out, I guarantee you will be able to maximize your Ramadan. And you'll be able to practice it how the Salaf practice it. And you'll be able to get the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of the different exotic titles that the people give for what? The month of Ramadan. You have a greater and purer understanding and a larger amount of appreciation when it comes to these things. As far as isolating Ramadan, moon sighting is only for Ramadan. Tahajjud, Taraweeh, Qiyam is only for Ramadan. That's another horrible, horrible fallacy spread among the Muslims. People think that there are special prayers for Ramadan. This is Tahajjud time, this is Qiyam time, and this is Taraweeh time. That's wrong. They're all names for one thing. Prayer at night. At-Tahajjud, At-Taraweeh, Al-Qiyam, all of those are synonyms for one prayer. They're synonyms. Tahajjud and Taraweeh are not two different things. It's all praying at night. Regardless of how many rak'ah you make. 8, 11, 12, 20, 40. Everyone understand this? Regardless of how many rak'at you perform. And regardless of when you make those rak'at. Whether you make them after you sleep, before Fajr, you make them in congregation, you make them by yourself, they're synonyms for one thing. Everyone understand this? They're not different. And if the only time which you pray at night is the month of Ramadan, in most cases, you're not going to make the night prayers in Ramadan. If you make them, you'll find them to be heavy and burdensome. If you find them to be heavy and burdensome, you're not going to get the true effect. You're not going to get the full effect because it's something new to you. And it's only the Ramadan spirit. And once the month of Ramadan goes, that's it. And it's very dangerous when we begin to imitate the Jews and the Christians. Some of them only give charity when it's time for Christmas. Some of them, the only time they know Christ in the church is on Sunday. Or when it's a holiday. And the rest of the days of the week, the rest of the months out the year, is secular nominal lifestyle. And that is why Christmas comes and it goes. And nothing changes critically in their lives. Because it's just for a short period of time. And that's extremely dangerous. So we have to be careful from this, brothers and sisters. We have to be very, very, very careful. It's upon us to have the proper mindset, the proper thinking. And it's upon us to warn others. It's upon us to bring this consciousness to others. And this is one of the greatest tools of the shaitan, is getting you not to think critically. Getting you to just think that it's just simple and basic and it's okay. And not actually using your mind and thinking about it. How long have I been a Muslim? How many Ramadans have I fasted? How has it benefited me? What has changed in our Masjid? What has changed in our community? Friday to Friday is one of the scariest things for an imam. When he sees the same exact thing that he saw last week and the khutbah that he gave last week, nothing has changed. Ramadan passes to Ramadan, nothing has changed. It's the exact same. The same brothers only come once a week, once a month. And next year, and Allah knows best, the same brothers will only come once a week and once a year. Khairan, inshallah. So let's move forward with our topic, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. When we talk about the month of mercy, before we get into the month of mercy, what do we mean by mercy? What's meant by the word mercy? Of course, we're going to say it's the mercy of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mercy of Allah that we want, the mercy of Allah that we need, the mercy of Allah we have been promised in this month. How do we achieve it? How do we get it? What do we know about the mercy of Allah Almighty and the Most High? What do we know about His mercy? What is the mercy, or mercy when it is mentioned with Allah? Mercy of Allah. What's meant by that when we say the word of or from? May Allah have mercy on you. Allah have mercy on him. Everyone understand this? We should be merciful like Allah is merciful to us. When we use these words of, from, and to pertaining to Allah, what is that? What does that mean, the mercy of Allah? What do we know about Allah's mercy? Anyone? Tell me anything you know about the mercy of Allah.
Guidance.
It's guidance.
It's clemency.
Clemency.
It's
Clemency.
Clemency. Tayyib. Anyone else?
It's like possession. Like Allah possesses this thing.
Allah possesses it.
It's
Tayyib.
wasi'ah.
It's wasi'ah. Meaning?
So, it touches everyone.
It touches everyone. It reaches everyone. Tayyib. Anything else? What else do we know about Allah's mercy?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. So these saying mercy and forgiveness are the same. We have clemency, we have forgiveness, and we have guidance. Are they the same as the rahmah of Allah, or are they connected? Like, what else do we know about Allah's mercy? Anything that we know about Allah's mercy? We're all in need of it. Everyone is in need of it. No one can do without it. Right? Anyone else? The mercy of Allah.
The mercy extols the wrath.
Is greater than the wrath of Allah. Right? Anything else? Anybody else? What is the mercy of Allah?
Comes before his anger.
It comes before?
His anger.
It comes before His anger. Similar. طيب.
هو السبب الوحيد لدخول الجنة.
It is the only reason behind entering paradise in reality. Very interesting answer. That's the real key to Jannah. طيب. Anyone else? Anyone else? Nobody else? That's everyone? طيب. جزاكم الله خيرا. First and foremost, I would say, similar to what our brother mentioned, he said that Allah possesses, the word you mentioned, mercy. Right. So first and foremost is mercy is one of the attributes of Allah. Sifatun min sifatihi. But don't nod your head too fast. Mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is of two types. Two types of Allah's mercy. Two types of the word mercy being attributed to Allah. First is a mercy which is an attribute of Allah. And secondly is a mercy which isn't an attribute of Allah. It's not an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first, listen carefully, is as a sifa. It's an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And obviously, if it's an attribute of Allah, then it's not created. It isn't something which is worldly. Everyone understand this? It's nothing to do with this mortal dunya. Naam? And secondly, is a mercy of Allah which is created. And it is not an attribute from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes. What is this? So how is this? So Allah's name is what? What do we know from Allah's names? وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى
Ar-Rahman.
Ar-Rahman, or
Ar-Rahim.
Ar-Rahim, or huh?
المالك القدوس
La, pertaining to Rahmah.
كريم
Only pertaining to Rahmah. What's mentioned in the Quran about Allah's name? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Or, other than that, وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ Rahimin. It's not a part of the question, huh? What else? Anything else which Allah talks about His name, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, or His attributes of Rahmah? Anyone else? So we can agree on in the Quran is that Allah has mentioned that He is what? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Arham Ar-Rahimin. So Allah has the name, or the names, and from those names come what? Attributes. Come what? Attributes. So Rahmah is an attribute of Allah, right? So what about the hadith that says, Anti Rahmati Arhamu Biki Man Asha? He said to paradise, He says, you are my mercy, and I use you to show mercy to whomever I will. So Allah says that paradise is what? Is His mercy. Is what?
His mercy.
His mercy. And paradise is clearly what?
Created.
Without a doubt. Paradise is makhluqa. It's a created being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sometimes when Allah mentions His mercy, His attribute. And other times when Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions mercy, it could be a child. Allah gave you a child. That's from the what? The rahmah of Allah. Money coming to you, a job in the month of Ramadan, or marriage, could be what? Mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone with me or not? That's mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first and foremost is, before we go this, that, mercy of Allah is of how many types? Two types. One is mercy that pertains to Allah from His attributes. And secondly is something which is what? Whatever it is. Jannah, a baby, is mercy. Having a strong body is mercy. Having a good mind is mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tell you, what's the difference between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? When the Muslims say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Innahu min Sulaiman, wa innahu Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most merciful. Rahman is Amma, he says. Everyone gets mercy. And Rahim is specific to the believers. Right. So, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim both have or contain mercy. But the difference between the two, for it not to be a repeated word, is that Ar-Rahman is for the kafir, the Muslim, everyone gets Rahmah. And Ar-Rahim is only for the believers. Right. Inna Allah bin Nasi. Some people say that there are verses in the Quran in which Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions what? Rahim with what? Nas, people, Muslim and Kafir. Any other answers? What's the difference between the two? This is one answer. Fadl.
The Rahmah is wasi'ah and Rahim is wasila.
طيب. Rahman, wasi'ah. Everyone gets it. And Rahim is wasila, meaning that it reaches what?
Who he wants.
مثل جواب الأخ مثله. طيب. Any other differences between the two? From what the ulama of Islam have said about the difference between these two names and these two attributes? Rahim is a more specific, higher level. طيب. Any other answers?
Ar-Rahman is the possessor of mercy.
Okay.
Rahim is the bestower.
So Allah possesses it, and Rahim is meaning that He gives it. طيب. Any other answers?
Rahim is specific for like the hereafter, and Rahman is
Rahman fi dunya, Rahimun fil akhirah. طيب. خير inshallah. Any other answers? Anybody else? So let me ask a question. If you have a baby, right? And the baby is born healthy, alhamdulillah. All of his limbs, toes, his eyes, ears, everything is good. It looks like a nice, good, sound, healthy baby. Allah is giving you what? Rahmah, without a doubt, mercy, right? So before you had the baby, did Allah give you rahmah?
Yeah.
He did. So if the baby came out and the baby, may Allah prevent, was dead, would you say Allah was merciful to us? Yes or no? Would you say that in the hospital?
No.
You wouldn't. How did I?
You say that.
Jazakallah khairan for being honest. You wouldn't say that, right? But is that true?
No.
No.
It's not true. Tahir. Ha. Anything else, guys? Now this goes to show us that Ramadan is a branch of what? Of Aqidah, what we believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Huh? So is Allah Azza wa Jalla, was He merciful before He gave us the baby? Yes or no?
Yes.
He was. And then when the baby came and the baby was safe and sound, Allah was also what? Merciful. All of the answers that you gave, كلها أجوبة صحيحة. All things that the ulama of Islam have mentioned with regards to the difference between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Rahman for people, Rahim for believers. Rahman in the dunya, Rahim in the hereafter. Rahman, Allah was always merciful before He created anything. And when He created things and made things and gave them and bestowed things, that was a manifestation of His what? Of His Rahmah. And there are other interpretations what? As well. There are other interpretations as well with regards to Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Tayyib, khair inshallah. What else is the difference between the two? Any other differences between the two? Can you have the name Rahim? Can that be your first name, Rahim? Can you have the first name Rahman? Huh. Can a person's name be Rahman?
لا عبد الرحمن.
Can your name be Rahim? Huh?
Yeah.
طيب. لا رحيم نكرة هكذا هل يجوز؟ لا يجوز. Can a person's first name be Rahim or last name? Muhammad Rahim. You say yes. Can a first or last name be Rahman?
I'll say yes.
You say yes. Ha. طيب خير إن شاء الله. Let's move forward. جزاك الله خيرا. جزاك الله خيرا. طيب. Next question is the difference between Rahmah and Maghfirah.
مغفرة الله يستر عيوب الناس ويرحمها والرحمة
ورحمة إيش؟
الغفر هو من الستر.
سمعت هذا الشرط الأول واضح. الشرط الأخير في كلامك لم أسمع. والرحمة
والرحمة عام. الرحمة هي الرحمة بدون الستر. يجب يعني الغفرة الستر شرط.
واضح. حرر الجواب.
والرحمة مغفرة.
حرر. صح. أنت بدأت لا، صح، لكن في الأخير حرر. المغفرة قلت الستر.
مع الرحمة.
كيف هذا يا شيخ؟ نحن الآن نريد هل بينهما فرق؟
الغفور بالستر.
طيب. والرحمة المغفرة كذلك. فهمت الإشكال؟ نعود إليك.
الرحمة هي مغفرة الذنوب والتجاوز عنها. سترها وتجاوزها.
ماشي. بعدين
والمغفرة ستر والغفور الغفور ستر الذنوب.
طيب. لا كيف يكون اثنين يعني كيف يكون شيء واحد؟
يعني
أنت قلت المغفرة ستر الذنوب والتجاوز عنها. كلام سليم. والرحمة مش ممكن تبقى الرحمة هي المغفرة لأنك عرفت المغفرة ونحن نريد الفرق بينهما.
الرحمة جزء من الرحمة تدخل.
طيب. جواب آخر. Any other differences? What's the difference between Rahmah and Maghfirah? Rahmah and Maghfirah. Is there a difference between the two? Such as? Any differences, guys? When you say, let's say for example, Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. You make tawbah and istighfar. Are they different or are they the same? Everyone understand the question? We have one answer so far, which you didn't say is a bad answer, but it has to be precise. It gotta be precise. Is there a difference between the two? No difference. Synonym. Synonym, okay. طيب.
Well, forgiveness is to have the sin forgiven,
but repentance is fair to be erased completely, like it was never there.
Okay, so maghfirah, Allah forgave you. You're not held responsible for it. And tawbah is that it's removed from your scale. طيب. طيب. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, what will be in the scales? طيب, what's the difference between maghfirah and rahmah?
Isn't it you ask for the tawbah and you expect that you're gonna get the forgiveness, which is
Tawbah is the vessel of forgiveness. Similar to what he mentioned, dakhil. طيب, rahmah and maghfirah. Same or not, guys?
So you say they go like so hand in hand.
They go hand in hand, but are they the same?
What
There are many things that go hand in hand, but aren't the what? Aren't the same. Fish and chips, they go what? Hand in hand. But they're clearly not what?
You need one like with like.
You don't
like
get
with
fish
the
and chips in America.
You do. Yeah, they do.
You need one.
They do. They have many places that are like, with the British theme. They do.
Yeah.
Worldwide, world famous. But
You need one with the other.
clear, you need one, but doesn't mean that they're the what?
Same.
Same thing. That's the question. What's the difference between the two? If there is one. Fadl akhi.
In Rahmah, Allah provides you guidance for a particular sin and you get away from that automatically before involving in it. But Maghfirah is once you involve in it and then afterwards you realize and then you ask.
So now we're dealing with an issue of time. Pay close attention now. An issue of time. He's basing his answer off of a time. Rahmah is for the present / future. Correct? What you're saying. And maghfirah is something that is what?
Done.
It's already done. I can't go back and fix it and change it. There's no guidance. I made the sin already. Like, you guys agree with this? You guys agree with this? That maghfirah is for the past. Allah forgive me of my sins and have mercy on me in the future. We agree on this? Sounds ma'qul. Al-maghfirah lima sabaq wa rahmah lil mustaqbal. Everybody can agree on this or not? No?
I will go the other way around.
Okay, you go the other way around.
Life hereafter.
Maghfirah for the
The
hereafter.
life hereafter.
And rahmah?
Not all the time.
All the time. Khayran, inshallah. Jazakumullah khayran. Let's move forward to the next point. Bidinai ta'ala. Tayyib. So we said that rahmah of Allah is of two types. Wa rahmati wasi'at kulli shay. The first thing that we know about Allah's rahmah is that rahmah of Allah is two types. Number two is that Allah's mercy has what? Enveloped all things. Kulla shay. Tayyib. Number three. And I'm not going to give you the answer to that either. Or none of those issues. I'm not going to give you the answer to them. You have to research them yourself, inshallah. My job is to get you to what? Just think about them, inshallah. Number three is what? Nur. Inna rahmatullahi qareeb. Huh? Min al-mu'mineen. Qareebun min ish? Al-muhsineen. Tayyib. Allah's mercy is close. Not to all. It's close to certain servants and certain slaves. Those who do ihsan. Number four is that أَنَّ لَهَا آثَارًا مَحْسُوسَةً. The mercy of Allah can be tangibly felt. There are things that we see and feel and experience which are فَانْظُرْ إِلَىٰ آثَارِ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. How Allah gives life to the earth after it is dead, quote unquote, spring. Spring, after the winter, right? So when you go outside, does the weather feel different? Do the trees look different? The flowers look different? That's all athar of Allah's what? Rahmah. And the same applies to Ramadan. You feel what? Better. You become a better person. Everyone understand this? After what? Ramadan. Number five is what? Is that Allah spreads that mercy. Number six is that there are certain servants who receive Rahmah and other servants do not, even from among the Muslims and even from among the believers. There are Muslims who have a higher level of Rahmah of Allah than others. There are certain servants of Allah who are all Muslims, all pray, all fast, but they get more of Allah's Rahmah for one reason or another. After that, we have the concept of what? Is Rahmah is from the things that each and every single Muslim is to wish for his brother. Everyone is to want Allah to be merciful to each other. And that's why I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's the first thing that you say to your brother when you meet him. You ask for the rahmah of Allah to be what? Upon him. Everyone understand this? So this isn't something which is only at nighttime when you pray, only in the month of Ramadan, but it's something which is a basic, stable concept of the life of the Muslim, is invoking and wanting and asking for Allah's what? Asking for Allah's what? His rahmah. Invoking Allah for his rahmah. And asking for his rahmah to be sent down. Tayyib, moving forward. وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ Rahima. That also proves that previous point. Tayyib, moving forward. Tayyib, how many aspects of Allah's mercy are there in His worldly life? How many are there? Did Allah give us all His mercy in the dunya?
No.
99 He gave us?
He gave us one in this.
And what's in store? And what's in store thereafter?
99.
99. So the whole entire world, how many continents, islands, all of the water, the birds, the fish, the animals, and it's only one part of Allah's rahmah. How can a Muslim think about making suicide? How can you allow a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year to go by and you're depressed? Clinically depressed. How can you lose hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy? And this is only one of Allah's, one section of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just think about that now. No matter what you're going through, how bad could it possibly be? How can you feel that Allah won't forgive me? God won't forgive me. I'm ruined, I'm done, I'm hopeless. And it's also one of the tricks of the shaitan. As is mentioned in the 7th chapter of Surah Al-A'raf, that when Iblis was cast from paradise, when Allah told him to leave, you cannot be prideful here. You cannot have that type of haughtiness in this place. Iblis, he made many promises to Allah. And from those promises, he mentioned, لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ, he says, I will come to them. I will approach them. In Baini, he says what? From what? In front. And also, وَمِن خَلْفِهِمْ وَعَنْ أَيْمَانِهِمْ وَعَنْ شِمَائِلِهِمْ. Front, back, right, left. And then he says, and you won't find, he said to Allah, listen to this, most of your servants, they won't be thankful to you. Look at the knowledge of Iblis. The knowledge of Iblis, of Shaitan. Most of your servants will be angry. They'll be ungrateful. What direction?
Also, he never said fawqa, from above.
هذا هو. He never said above. So some of the ulama of Islam, they say that this proves is that no matter what the Shaitan incites the servant to do, whatever waswasa he gives you, whatever dalal that you fall into, he can never ever cut you off from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never. No matter how much of a sinner you may be, no matter how much of a wretch you may feel that you are, but there's always mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life, let alone with the what? The hereafter. And this is the fruit of having the proper aqidah. This is the fa'idah and the thamara of al-asma wa sifat, and you believe in it with your heart. It doesn't matter what the people do, what the people think or feel. How many times I relapse and fall back into the same sin? Allah is Ghafur Rahim. Tayyib, moving forward. What are some of the manifestations of Allah's mercy in the month of Ramadan? Number one, quickly. Some of the manifestations of the month of mercy. Laylatul Qadr. When is Laylatul Qadr? When is Laylatul Qadr? Put your hand up. Go ahead. You. It's during the last 10 days or last 10 nights. Days or nights? Nights. Like we say, fast the 3 white nights. Do you fast at nighttime? In actuality, is Ayyam al-Bid or Layal al-Bid? Ayyam. Ayyam. Why is it called the white nights?
Because the moon is at night.
Because the moon is full. But in actuality, you're not fasting when? At nighttime. Tayyib. Okay, he says Laylatul Qadr during the last 10 nights. So a manifestation of Allah's mercy is that there's Laylatul Qadr. Can I give an answer? I raise my hand. My right hand. A manifestation of Allah's mercy is that we don't know when Laylatul Qadr is. That's rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's mercy from Allah that we don't know the specific date of Laylatul Qadr. That's mercy. And if we knew when Laylatul Qadr was specifically, then we would be like how we are today. We put on a calendar, 27th night of Ramadan, Qiyam, Kala. This is when we do the fundraiser. The masjid will be packed. We have this special talk. So and so, wallahi. And that's problematic. Now, of course they do it around the world. And the reason why the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he saw them in arguing, and it was taken from him, he says, perhaps it's best for you. فَلْتَمِسُوهَا. Look for it during these days. He gave us hints. He gave us clues. But the specific night of Laylatul Qadr wasn't given to us as a means of what? Mercy. And that's because we would only come to the Masjid on the 27th night. We would only come to the Masjid during the last 10 nights. What else is there? He says the shayateen being what? Locked up. What's meant by locked up? They're chained down. They. All of the shayateen? Shaitan himself? Or the jinn?
All of the shayateen, but they say some of the lesser shayateen.
Some of the lesser shayateen are out. Okay, tayyib. So, when we fast in the month of Ramadan, brothers and sisters, do we not make sin? Are there not crimes committed? There are. So how can this be if the shayateen are locked down?
Some of the lesser shayateen.
Some of the lesser. We have major sins being made in the month of Ramadan. People get killed. All types of atrocities happen. How can this be now?
He said shaitan done so much damage before that.
He done so much damage before. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Right, Father Akhi.
You say, because of your own nafs.
Because of your own nafs. That's scary now. Really scary. That a big percentage of the sins that you make is not because of shaitan's whispering. It's because of your own evil. This is the reality of yourself now. Or shaitan has done so much damage to you, he doesn't have to whisper anymore. Fight. Alhamdulillah. May Allah protect us from that. What other manifestations of mercy in the month of Ramadan do we have, guys? Before we stop tonight.
You've got no excuse to not come out forgiven. So you've got to come out forgiven.
If you don't come out forgiven, it's because you didn't want to be forgiven. Bottom line. Fight. Any other manifestations of rahmah in the month of Ramadan? He mentioned shayateens being locked down. Huh? The doors of paradise are what? Opened up. That's a manifestation of what? Of more mercy. Right. What else is there?
We combine a lot of good deeds together.
Many good deeds intertwined, such as fasting, standing, charity, sadaqah. Right. What else? What else is there? Any other manifestation of Allah's mercy? So we only have 3 or 4 reasons and we call it a whole month of mercy? Wallahi, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced with the title of the lecture. How can it be a month of mercy and there are only, what? 3 reasons. I'm not convinced. It's not convincing. Agreed or not? We only know 3 things of Allah's mercy in Ramadan and we call it a whole month of rahmah. Abu Nusayba. هذا تقتنع بهذا؟ ما ينفعش, huh? Sorry. Anybody else? Any other manifestations of Allah's mercy in this month? When we say that there's a month of mercy, the Quran was sent down Laylatul Qadr, and for sure Laylatul Qadr is in the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the Quran is the reason behind what? All good in this world. And the lack of the Quran or its improper understanding, etc., is the reason behind what? Kullu bala. Very good answer. What else is there? From that which proves that Ramadan is a month of mercy. Such as, fadl. The rewards are multiplied. You get more for doing what you normally do, but it's a higher reward. That's mercy. I pay you extra at work. You work the same hours and I give you a bonus. That's mercy. Tayyib. What else is there? Taraweeh.
Building relationship.
Building the relationships with your brother. The believers are merciful to each other. They're nice, they're kind to each other. And we get to know who we are during this month. We feed each other, we visit each other. Which we should already be doing. Which we should already be doing. We should already be over each other's houses and so on and so forth. Right? Anything else?
Psalm itself.
Fasting itself is a mercy. How is that? I'm hungry, Yaki. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. I have a migraine. I can't go to work. I'm irritable. I'm cranky. I can't drink my tea and my coffee. How is that a mercy?
Because the reward of
The reward. But what else is there mercy in fasting?
and at the time you break the fast and then
You break the fast, all pains of hunger are forgotten. What is saimi? Farhatan. What about the mercy to the body? You give your system a break. Right? You give your system a what? A break. Tell you, what else is there?
The congregation comes
Congregation, similar to what he mentioned. Father Akhi.
Going back to what you said about the fast, it also teaches you discipline.
Self-discipline, self-control. That's a mercy to you, right? Your parent ever discipline you? I would say, it says, I'm only beating you because what? Because I love you. Your mom may tell you that, maybe not now, but back in the day, huh? You're gonna beat me, you're crying. She says, I'm beating you because what? Because I'm loving. This beating is a rahmah to you. We can say that now, but we definitely what? We didn't say that what? We didn't say that back then when you were getting beaten, huh? But now you understand the concept of the fa'idah of discipline. That in actuality it is a mercy to you. Because it's helping you in the what? In the long run. That self-discipline is going to help you in the what? In the long run. Being in a type. Anything else, brothers and sisters? Fadal akhi.
So law was revealed?
The what?
The law was revealed?
The law was revealed. The rulings. The Quran. Right. Good answer. Anything else, guys? Everyone understand the point? For us to say that a month is a month of mercy, we have to have what? More reasons. Alan. Now we can be convinced now that Ramadan, inshallah, is a month of what? A month of mercy. There are many, many other manifestations. There are many other manifestations of this month being a month of what? Rahmah. From that which we know of, and that which our human brains and minds do not reach, or don't reach. That which our minds can't grasp and comprehend. Is that is a mercy to our minds, our souls, and our bodies. And the month of Ramadan is also a mercy to non-Muslims as well. It's a mercy to non-Muslims. It's a mercy to everyone and every single living thing this month. And we ask Allah to allow us to reach this month. And this will conclude my discussion with you. Tonight wasn't a lecture, but it was a discussion, alhamdulillah, in which we benefited from each other. We benefited from each other. Jazakumullahu khairan. أشكر كل من شارك وكل من رفع يده وكل من أجاب وكل من حضر ونسأل الله تعالى أن يجمع لنا ولكم بين الأجر والثواب والفائدة وجزيتم عنا خيرا بارك الله فيكم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khair. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having rahmah on us tonight, for allowing the Shaykh to visit us and benefiting us, alhamdulillah. Thank the Shaykh, alhamdulillah, and thank all the brothers and sisters who attended, alhamdulillah.
Sure, no problem.
So, if the brothers have any questions, if you just raise your hands and you can ask. And if the sisters have any questions, they can just write on a piece of paper, or there'll be a notepad being set down, and you can write on in that notepad, inshallah. Or you can WhatsApp the Masjid number, inshallah. So if brothers have any questions, they can just raise their hands, inshallah. Okay, so.
Fadal akhi.
I read an opinion that while we're fasting during the day of Ramadan, we can't give food to the disbelievers.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Like, question says, I've read or I've heard an opinion that while you're fasting, when you're fasting as a Muslim, you cannot give food to non-Muslims, disbelievers, whatever they are called. Whether they work for you, let's say you have a construction company, and you provide them with lunch, your laborers, your carpenters, or you work in a hospital, or you work in a restaurant, or it's your grandmother who isn't a Muslim, or your father, or someone that you're taking care of. Is that correct? First and foremost, to keep things simple, you should not give a non-Muslim food during the month of Ramadan in the daytime. You should avoid it. It should be stayed away from. The best thing to do, the safest thing to do is stay away from it. That is the simplified answer, the best thing to do. Is it haram? Didn't necessarily say that. And one of the reasons why we don't say that is because this issue is a part of a larger issue, which is a part of another larger issue. And that is Ramadan. Why is it sacred? Is it sacred because of fasting, or is it sacred because of the time? Is the month of Ramadan sacred just because of fasting, or sacred just because of the time? The day and the night, or just the day? Meaning, if there's a woman who isn't fasting, if there's a man who travels, he breaks his fast, he returns to his home, it's 3 p.m., it's 5 p.m., many hours until the sun sets. Does he have to now refrain from eating and drinking? Or does he continue to eat and drink because he broke his fast for a reason? Does he have to make up that day? What's the purpose of him making up another day and refraining from food or drink for 5 more hours without any purpose? Because of hurmat al-zaman, hurmat etc. Or the concept of the non-Muslims, are they held responsible for the laws of Islam? هل الكفار مخاطبون بفروع الشريعة? Are the non-Muslims responsible for the laws of Islam, i.e., to simplify things? In the hereafter, will a non-Muslim be punished for shirk, kufr, and drinking alcohol? Or will Allah just punish him for shirk and kufr? Everyone understand this? Muslims are not allowed to eat the flesh of swine. It's haram, because we believe in Allah. Non-Muslims are or aren't forbidden from that. And when the hereafter comes, will they be held responsible for them eating the flesh of swine, etc.? So this issue is based off of those two issues. We've given a simplified answer already, that it should be avoided. As far as the bigger issue, then there are two. What is meant by the sacredness of Ramadan? Because people are fasting, or the zaman, the time. And that's a very practical issue. I traveled, I came home, it's 4 p.m. I ate, I drank, I did the things when I was traveling. I'm now back in Reading. I'm no longer a musafir. Do I have to stop eating and drinking until Maghrib? Or can I continue to eat and drink until Maghrib? Because I already have to make up the what? The day. Everyone understand this? Some ulama say you cannot eat and drink for the rest of the day, and you have to make up the day. And that's because of this sacred, the time, the day, everything is sacred. And others, they say no. If you broke your fast, bisabab shari, a legitimate excuse, you're not held responsible for fasting the rest of the day. And that's because there's no point in that. You have to make up the day, and you didn't violate Allah's laws. Rather, you were implementing Allah's laws. So one says, this non-Muslim is not held responsible for fasting. They're not fasting. I have a responsibility of feeding them. I'm fasting, but they're not. Secondly, will the non-Muslims be held responsible for their bad deeds that go against the Sharia laws, such as eating and drinking in the daytime of Ramadan? Or are they only held responsible for Iman? Once they become a believer, now they're responsible for the ahkam. Everyone understand this issue here? And it's a very, very important issue, especially in Western countries. Can I sell a non-Muslim something haram?
No.
You can't say no, you can't say yes unless you've done what? Answer the what? The first issue. And we understand this or not? Listen carefully once more to simplify things. Simplify it again. In the hereafter, when a non-Muslim stands in front of Allah, will he be held responsible just for Iman? Or is he held responsible for not having Iman and all of the haram things that he did his entire life? Of alcohol, of fornication, of this and of that, which are clearly haram to us, the mu'mineen, inshallah. We can't answer the question unless we what? فهمنا إيش؟ المسألة التي تنبني عليها تلك. The mas'ala here. Will the non-Muslims be held responsible for the rules of the Sharia? If you say they're held responsible, they can't eat during the month of Ramadan. We cannot sell them unlawful things that we don't eat, because they're not allowed to enjoy them what? As well. Everyone understand this? And many other issues such as perfume, high heel shoes, all types of revealing clothes. You can't sell them to the non-Muslims because they wear them outside, not in the house. Outside the house. I'm an F1. Everyone understand this? If a person says no, they are not held responsible for these detailed issues. Allah will punish them for the lack of what? Iman. He's a kafir, khalas. If he was a Muslim, then he will be held responsible for doing the haram acts as well. Everyone understand this? So therefore, the ulama of Islam, they have a very long discussion with regards to this issue. Will a kafir be punished for not paying zakat? Will a kafir be punished for not making salah? Will a kafir be punished for eating during the daytime of what? Of Ramadan or not? So the simplified answer is to avoid it. If you're forced, you're in a situation which you'll have to feed a non-Muslim food in the daytime, then do it if you have to. But try your best to manage your time, manage your schedule, your restaurant, or whatever the case may be. If it's an issue of life or death, it's an issue of someone taking medicine, then that's a different story. A necessity, such as your grandmother who isn't a Muslim, and you're responsible for her. She's not fasting, she has to eat. Even if she's not that old, she can fast if she was a Muslim. But she's what? Not a Muslim. Or your little brother, another perfect example. Or anyone that you're what? Responsible for. Anyone that you're what? Responsible for. Everyone understand this? And obviously you can see how this is going to be problematic with many jobs in 2019. Because I work in a restaurant. I don't have the liberty of taking off an entire month. I have to serve food to people that aren't fasting. Rather, better, many Muslims may come into my restaurant who aren't fasting. وارد ممكن? Of course it's possible. Many people that aren't fasting, they'll come into my restaurant. Or I sell cigarettes and vape and things like this. And non-Muslims, I know he's a Muslim. He comes to my restaurant, can he buy these haram things from me? Can I even sell them? That's besides the point. But can I sell them to the Muslim? Everyone understand this? So avoid it if you can, inshallah. And Allah knows best.
So, a question from the sisters. If teenage girls or boys choose not to fast due to sports or exams at school, do they have to pay fidya?
With regards to teenagers who choose not to fast because of an exam or sports or whatever, do they have to pay a fidya? If you don't have a legitimate reason to fast, you've violated the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you have violated those laws and you failed to fast, you have to make tawbah first and foremost. You have to make tawbah. You have to repent to Allah. Number two, you have to make up those days according to some of the ulama of Islam. And some of them say if you've missed the fast intentionally, there's no point in you making it up. And Allah will never accept it from you. You've lost that. It cannot be regained. And others say no, tawbah. Everyone agrees tawbah is mandatory. Then they differ on al-qada, making up the days and making tawbah. Number three, paying a fidya, quote unquote. Many people, they misunderstand this word fidya. A fidya is something that you pay for some type of excuse, a legitimate reason. A legitimate reason. Breastfeeding woman, pregnant woman, something like this, in which they broke their fast with a legitimate reason. Do they have to make up the day and pay fidya? Pay fidya and make up the day? That's a different issue, which we've discussed before and we'll discuss when we have the sister session, inshallah. You broke your fast intentionally. Intentionally. You violated Allah's laws. That's not a legitimate excuse because you have to take an exam or you have a game. It's not a legitimate excuse to break your fast. Unless it's something which is an absolute necessity. An absolute necessity. Alright? So at the end of the day, when it comes to doing haram acts, do you have to make a fidya or not? Perhaps the correct view is that you only pay a fidya when there's specific text. A specific hadith that mandates paying of the fidya, such as intercourse during the month of Ramadan. And that's why some of the ulama of Islam, they say that if a person ejaculated in Ramadan, they masturbated, they broke their fast, they have to make tawbah, they have to make qada, and there's no fidya. And that's because that's not mentioned in the hadith. What's mentioned in the hadith, it says jima', as intercourse with one's wife, etc. So therefore, make tawbah, make up the day, ask Allah to protect you in the future, give extra sadaqah. As far as a specific mandated fidya, فهذا يفتقر إلى دليل شرعي. هذا يفتقر إلى نص صريح يوجب ذلك. والله أعلم. خير إن شاء الله. We'll stop بإذن الله. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. No. That's it.